Welcome to the Empowered Embodiment Revolution, where women leaders reveal how to liberate yourself from body battles so you can follow your heart, own your power, and shine in the world. I'm Darlene Downing. I'm your host for this event, and I am thrilled to be here with you today. I have with me Ashley Burnett. What I love about Ashley, and I can't wait to introduce you to her, is how she's chosen to take a stand for women to live full out, to not stop themselves while waiting for perfection to settle in that never happens, and to really be seen and heard for the amazing contribution that they truly are. Ashley Burnett, founder of the wellness company Strong Body Love, is a woman's leadership and confidence coach, business and branding strategist, motivational speaker, and serious mover and shaker. Her mission in life is to help creative entrepreneurs and ambitious women acquire fierce confidence in their physical bodies and with their heart-based bodies of work so they can achieve their impact, they can elevate their impact in the world. Ashley is no stranger to the stage, having grown up dancing, singing, and acting under the direction of her parents, holding a BFA in dance performance from the University of Illinois, and working as a professional modern dancer and performer for over 10 years. She's spent the last decade immersed in all things wellness related, holding a health coach and massage certifications, and maintains a devoted meditation and yoga practice. Ashley believes that now is the time for women to develop the courage and confidence to be seen and heard in their bodies and their businesses, and boldly put themselves out there, imperfections and all. Ashley joins us here today to share her love and passion in empowering women as we dive more deeply into the topic of embodied confidence. So welcome, Ashley. I am so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Darlene. I'm so excited to be here with you and with all of you that are joining. Hello, and I'm super stoked to be on this interview with you today.
Yeah, we're going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of fun exploring embodied confidence, and I'm just excited to hear your journey with this and how your work has evolved. And yeah, so let's get the party started. Yeah. So I've been asking all the speakers to start the conversation with their definition of empowered embodiment. So I would love to hear how you define empowered embodiment.
Yeah, I think that when we can take a stand to get out of our minds and into our bodies as women, that this is when we can really find a true embodied state. So many of us in this crazy techie age are getting swooped up into our computers, into our phones, into our devices, and I think that we find definition in ourselves through those a lot of times. And I think there's a real call right now for women to, and all people everywhere, to really come back into their bodies and to connect on a physical level. To me, empowered embodiment really is to get out of our minds. I mean, we use all of these devices as tools, but it doesn't define who we are. And I think for us, even if we're introverted, that it behooves us to create a loving and deep relationship with our own physical bodies. And to me, that's what empowered embodiment really is to get out of that, kind of esoteric and, like really out there kind of space, or into my, like sometimes I feel like I'm turning into my computer. And I think some people, I mean, now they're making the phone that's your watch or yeah, I mean your watch phone, or I mean we're gonna like turn into our phones eventually, or they're gonna be like embedded inside of us, and it just really freaks me out, and I think we can use these things as tools. We can use technology as tools to move us forward, but it doesn't define us. Our bodies are really the vessels that we've been given on this planet to do our great work with, and we have to learn how to have a loving and powerful relationship with them.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And you're right. I've been having this conversation with other speakers that we've come to this point in our evolution that we spend so much time up here, and when we lose track of being in our body, we're missing out on that intelligence that's there, the wisdom, the connection, like our inner GPS. It totally changes the experience of life when you're in your body, don't you think? As opposed to in your head all the time.
Oh my gosh, I mean completely. Yeah, I know that. Well, for me right now, actually, because I've been starting and or have been in this world of kind of virtual business for the last 3 years. My biggest thing is that I'm ready to get off of that platform and into community with people, and really physically connecting, tangibly with other bodies, and just having those experiential, transformational kind of processes in person, I mean, as well as online and over the phone. But for the last 3 years, most of my work has been mostly online, and I found myself as a dancer really like losing sight of who I was, and I think a lot of people are experiencing that as well. And so yeah, I mean definitely it's time to come back into the body.
Well, I'd love to hear what your journey's been with your body. Been asking everyone if they're open to share what their biggest body battle was, and what it was that defining moment where things changed, what it was that turned that around for them, how it led you to your work. I'd just love to hear a little more about that, if you would share.
Yeah. I grew up dancing under the direction of my mother, as you all heard in the bio. And growing up, I was always bigger boned, if you will. So in the dance studio, I was one of the bigger dancers, which was not, overweight at all. But as a young child, and statistics show that we start this dieting saga around the ripe young age of 8.
Yeah.
That I was totally influenced by that, by running around in skin tight clothing in a dance studio at a very early age. The other thing was that we had to weigh in, and this was something because we were a competitive studio. My mother is doing completely different things now, and I mean it was so much fun, and she was actually really, really great at what she did, a wonderful choreographer, an amazing teacher. But it came with the territory, and I think when we were in that competition mode, that we were playing into that whole role, and I think that really kind of affected my relationship with my body at that point as well. And then when I got older, when I was like a senior, in college or in high school, I really kind of let go of like worrying so much about what everyone else was thinking, but I still had, some serious self-conscious moments around my body. I developed these really dark red stretch marks on my inner thighs. And then when I went off to college, I actually gained 30 pounds the first year of being a dance major in college. So you can imagine you're, going to school for something physical, and then you gain 30 pounds. And I felt a lot of guilt and a lot of shame around that and kind of loathed my body. When I graduated from there, I moved to Chicago, and I ended up completely in this really anxiety-ridden space. I really couldn't stand myself at all. I had cystic acne all over my face. I was still, still had that weight on from college and really didn't know what to do with myself. And I was literally, ridden with anxiety pretty much everywhere I went, and was really in this kind of negative space in my life. And it was really painful to not love myself.
Yeah.
I knew that this was not me. I remember writing in my journal, profusely, going, this is not me. This is not my reality. I don't know what's going on. I can't stand myself. I can't stand who I'm being and who I am in the world right now. And it was just, I knew that something had to change. So I ended up moving to San Francisco cross country when I was 25, and that was when I made the commitment to myself that I was going to shift this whole relationship with myself and with my body. And I began practicing yoga. I went to school for massage, and I also was doing a lot of meditation and things like that. And slowly but surely, my world started shifting. And I really can say that now I have this beautiful, loving relationship with my body. I'm someone that has been different weights at different times, and my biggest thing is learning to be healthy and have a positive relationship at any weight. I don't know if you know, actually, Linda Bacon.
I don't. Mm-mm.
Definitely check her work out. She wrote a book called Health at Every Size, and that is also a book that I think is very powerful work to be thinking about right now. For me as women, the reality is that we all shift in size at different periods of our life,
Absolutely.
that time of the month, or menopause, or pregnancy, or whatever. We're always constantly fluctuating. So how can we get into a positive, appreciative, loving, respectful relationship with our body in whatever size and form that it's in now? So over the years, I've learned how to do that and to create and cultivate that relationship. A lot of my influence have been through yoga and massage and body work, but also, through the world of coaching and even the dance world for me. It opened up for me as a modern dancer to kind of accept and appreciate different sizes and different shapes of people. Rather than conforming to everyone being, one size. So, and now I really, the work that I'm doing in the world is really around fierce confidence and leadership, helping women to feel that, develop and feel that fierce confidence within their own physical bodies as well as their bodies of work. And I work mostly, and not limited to, but mostly with ambitious entrepreneurial women, and also with other people that are really wanting to kind of boost that confidence and develop bigger leadership skills in whatever line of work that they're in right now. And it's so fulfilling for me to bring all of my background around leadership and teaching and all of that, coaching, and bring it out into this work that I'm doing right now in the world.
That's great. And so what I took from your conversation is yoga helped you to ease the mental chatter as far as beating yourself up, right? And then massage got you more in touch with appreciating your body. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's something that really happens on a cellular level when you're touching bodies all day long, you know what I mean? And I myself also receive a lot of massage too. Just understanding that the body is like this fierce mechanism. I mean, it's really complex. There's a lot of things that can go off. If one thing goes off, a lot of things go off. That we have to really respect and appreciate and take care of this body temple that we were given. And yeah, I do think that it actually helped me to get out of this idea of like what I look like physically and more into wow, like the whole mechanics of this body and how it works. And you know, in dance I took kinesiology and anatomy classes, and also in massage, and you know, it's kind of fascinating to just see what these bodies are capable of. And yeah, that's where I'll finish that thought.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different point of view when you go from seeing what's wrong about your body all the time to what a miracle she is, and you get into the depths of, you know, how she can heal herself and how you're more than just the physical piece, that you're multidimensional. It's a whole new way of perceiving yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love what you're doing with the fierce confidence with bodies and bodies of work. That's so neat. And how feeling confident in your body would reflect in the body of work that you're putting out there. It is going to support you in that. And I feel like, you know, for entrepreneurs who are wanting to get out there and be seen and feel confident, it's so great. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, if you're listening, if you really want to really show up more fully for your life, that piece of really feeling confident is vital.
Yeah. Yeah, and that doesn't happen overnight. That happens with practice. It happens with having the courage and taking the risk to do things that are uncomfortable for you. And it, you know, it's something that is built over time, but we can't build it if we don't put ourselves out there in vulnerable ways. And that's really what I help and encourage women to do. So.
It's like exercising a muscle, you know, and I can speak personally for that. The fact that you're having this conversation in a virtual, worldwide, online platform, and I remember a few years ago that if you'd asked me to speak in front of someone, I would have said, absolutely not, you know, and
right.
It's been pushing the edge just a little bit. You're not going too far over, you know. I guess I wanted to bring that to the conversation, too, because sometimes it seems like, you know, oh, she's got it all together. Look at how easy that is for her. And to mention that it wasn't like it just happened, you know, that it was these tiny little steps. Right?
Oh, my God. I mean, if there's anything I can say to anybody out there that's starting anything, like any project or business or whatever it is, that and I would imagine even motherhood or whatever it is, you know, it's like that we don't just like get it all figured out right away. That, you know, I'm 3 years into this business and I'm constantly learning and growing, and I have to have a coach and mentors and accountability people in my corner and a support network to make sure that I'm staying on track and that I am being guided along the way. Like, we cannot do this big life mission-based work out in the world by ourselves. We just can't. We have to find the right mentors and coaches that can help support us to move us forward with whatever our goals in life are. If that's to get healthy, then find that health coach. If that's to grow a business, then find that business coach. If that's to boost confidence, you know what I mean? It's just like, find the people that resonate with you and bring them into your corner. And I know a lot of times people are scared to do that because they want the control, or perhaps they feel they don't have the funds. But the biggest thing I can say is when there's a will, there's a way, and whenever you can take that big leap to go and get that support and, you know, take the risk that you need to make that happen, everything shifts. And it doesn't happen overnight, and you have to be patient, and that kind of work is not for the faint of heart, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's
you
not.
know what I'm talking about.
I do. It's worth the journey, though. And thanks for bringing that to the conversation, too, that you don't have to do it alone, and finding the right support. If you're, whatever piece it is that you're working on, if it is, the battle with your body, or if it is giving birth to your work in the world, or whatever, that how much more joyful and more alive we feel when we have people up underneath us that can support us, and then just have a lot of compassion for us when things aren't working out. That's part of the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yay. Well, I would love to guide our conversation towards the topic that you were going to specifically bring to us today on embodied confidence. So I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite secret and strategy for releasing stress and overwhelm, so we don't shut down the energy when we're wanting to actually get out there?
Yeah. Excuse me, everyone. I am a little under the weather, so I'm going to cough here and there. But there have been times when I was gonna rip my hair out, trying to, make things happen, and staying up till, I don't know, 2 a.m. and on the computer for 12 hours, 14 hours a day, trying to build my business. And I know a lot of you can relate, even if you're not entrepreneurs. Whenever we find ourselves trying to push through something, honestly, I think the biggest thing that we can do is to, and if we're getting really frustrated, is to actually stop and take a break and remove yourself from the situation and put yourself somewhere in that moment where you find your creative juices most often flow. For me, it is getting up, going outside and being in nature, or it is getting up, and I actually do these things called booty break sessions, which I'll be doing more of.
And come on.
Yeah. Basically, it's getting up off your chair and literally, I'm going to be doing this, so if those of you in this community want more of that, you can find me at strongbodylove.com. But I'm really going to be providing basically these little short dance breaks for people that work at a computer all day to get up off their butts, get into their body, and move. And literally in that 3 minutes that you move your body's flooded with oxygen, and your body is has turned on all of those feel-good receptors. And when we sit back down at the chair, the creativity can flow. So for me, and then the third one for me, there's kind of 3 that I typically go to.
Yeah.
And nature, fresh air, obviously, and the movement piece. And then for me, it's meditation too. If I can just stop thinking so much, stop getting in my head and get into my body and just be, then literally that helps me to really be able to channel that energy that I need to continue moving forward. If we power through, and don't take any breaks, it's a disaster zone. Believe me, I know. I've done it so many times. But I do know when I have allowed myself and given myself that permission to stop, take that break, and then come back to what I'm doing, that like I've been in the position where I've been trying to write a blog post or something.
Right.
Nothing is coming. Nothing is coming. I'm like forcing it. I'm like, I gotta get this done tomorrow or by, whatever. And I literally, nothing is coming. And I've stopped, meditated, ask for divine guidance, show me the way, ask, what is the one, what will you have me do, what will you have me, where will you have me go, what will you have me say, what is it? Course in Miracles, where, what will you have me do, or, I can't remember it, but it's literally like, what will you have me say, what will you have me do? Yeah. Where will you have, what will you have me do today? And when I ask that question and I remove myself from the situation and I go within and then I go back to that computer to write that blog post, typically that's when the flow happens. So that's the biggest thing I can say, is to, suggest that you remove yourself from whatever you're trying to power through and give yourself that break.
Step away from the computer.
Yeah.
Step away from the chaos. I love it. I use all three of those also.
Yeah.
And nature is my favorite too. And I love to go out barefooted. There's the energy from the earth that comes up that will, those electrons that neutralize any inflammation. It gives you the energy from the earth. It really grounds me. I do love that. And dancing too. I'm a big danceaholic also. And it's funny, it doesn't take long, 3 minutes to move energy through. And if you're creatively blocked, I love moving my hips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. I've actually been, I just got a new chair too, which I'm so excited about. But I'm also considering getting one of those big balls to like just have, so I can literally do that on the chair. And just to give, because that's another, this is kind of off subject, but, just as another option for people to like really get their space set up in a way that's going to help produce flow too.
Energetic, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting, part of this whole thing was like I was sitting powering through in a chair that killed my back and was like not working for me. And like the whole energy in my space, I had a friend come in and was like, I can feel the energy in here and it's not good. And I was like, okay, like I really, and if I'm going to sit here and work in my home all day, I want this energy to be good in here.
Sure.
So recently, actually yesterday, we just got this new chair. And I'll show it to you, my man just built this amazing little shelf so I can stand and work at my little desk and stand up. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then I think the ball is the next piece of just like giving another option for people to, and I know this again that we kind of just got off subject, but this is all embodiment. If you're sitting and your energy is really stuck at a chair all day that doesn't feel good to you, you're not going to be able to flow like you really need to. So
it's totally on conversation, really. To me, empowered embodiment is to have access to all of you and to know when you're shutting your energy down, and that the body is just as important as the mind, the emotions, and the spirit. So if we want our body to help us play, we need to listen, and just give that 3-minute booty break or go outside for a few minutes and recharge, yeah?
Right, totally.
Absolutely. Great tips. I love those.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know that you want to shift the conversation, and we touched on this a little bit earlier about releasing perfection and rejection. And so I'm wondering if you can speak to that a little bit more. It's something, perfection, I know is something I've struggled with personally, and I think a lot of women do when it comes around their bodies or feeling confident in their bodies. Um, so how, you said that it's to remember your mission. I'd love
Yeah.
to talk about that strategy.
Yeah, so, rejection is hard for everybody. It's something that we all struggle with at some time or another. But I think how we can move through the rejection and learn and grow is to actually see it as a blessing. So whenever you're rejected, whether that be like you didn't get that promotion, or a client didn't sign on with you, or someone said crap about your work, or whatever it was, to know that every time that door kind of shuts, it's an opportunity for you to go back to the basics and to actually reconnect with yourself and your values, and to remember the big why. I actually gave an interview earlier today with someone. We were having this conversation, and this topic came up where she had been, someone had talked crap about her work, and she really shut down in that moment, of course. Like, no one wants to hear that. But what it was for her was an opportunity to actually make a deeper commitment and ask herself, am I really committed to this work? And she was like, hell yeah, I'm committed to this work. Yeah, and in that moment, that's what empowered embodiment really is. It's like, when somebody rejects me, can I still be a commitment to myself? Can I still be a commitment to the mission and the why I'm doing what I'm doing in my life? I think a lot of people don't put themselves out there because they're scared of judgment and rejection, right?
Yeah.
But in order for us to move through some of that fear, is to ask ourselves, like, well, what are we really a commitment to? And even if we are rejected, it's to come back and be like, am I really a commitment to this? That commitment is more important than the rejection, or the, any of the compare and despair or whatever's going on in judgment. And to know that, again, this work, like, we have to build a backbone for this, that we're constantly going to be judged doing passion-based work in the world. And so it's really kind of connecting to our core values, and that rejection really has nothing to do with self-worth.
No, not at all.
It's just an opportunity for us to really tune into, that we actually have the opportunity here, that we're lucky enough to actually be devoting our energy to something or someone that we truly love and that we feel, complete commitment to. And so that's what I want to offer people today to think about. How can you flip that rejection around? And along the lines of perfectionism simply doesn't exist. Nothing is, nothing is perfect. In fact, I watched an interview or a Stephen Hawking show, the great, astrophysicist, and he was saying that if perfection did exist, none of us would be here, because, after, if you believe in this or not, but after the Big Bang, that actually the little particles that, moved away, if they would have all been perfect, nothing would have collided, and nothing would have ever been, no form would have ever been created. And so that's just something to think. So he was like, in his Stephen Hawking voice, so the next time someone says that you're not perfect, you tell them that you know, that perfection doesn't exist and it's a good thing, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome, you know, like, it's, yeah. So I don't know, a couple of things just to play around with and think about on that level.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, the judgment piece, every time we go into judgment, we're shutting ourselves down. That it just stops the energy flowing. So that's not empowering at all. And if someone's judging us and we take that on, then we're judging ourselves, because we're saying that what their point of view is more valid than our point of view. And I love that reminder to go back to the big why. I connect to my big why every single day, and it's what gets me through my own resistance to whatever's coming up. And also, if things don't turn out the way my ideal vision is, I just keep dropping into that. And the more I deepen into that, I find a true source of power from that. So thank you for bringing that to the conversation. And what I wanted to add to the perfection thing was I've been asking that because it's something that I chased a lot. And so if we think that we can ever reach perfection, it's this assumption that we're done, that there's like an end to the road. And there's really no end to the road. Like, we're always constantly evolving, you know? So if we're just ever evolving, it's like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And maybe we want to have a different experience, but it's all perfection in its imperfection.
Right. Exactly. 100%. I couldn't agree more.
I love your Stephen Hawking's voice too. That's great.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yes. How you doing? You need to take a drink. She's so good. She was not. We were supposed to do our interview a couple of days ago, and she's not feeling well. So
oh,
she's still...
yeah. No, that day, no, sandpaper throat. That was not happening. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Well, I'd love to know what your 3 keys are to release that judgment. I mean, you talked about the big why. What is it that we can do to shift our body image and feel good about our bodies?
Yeah. So it's amazing how, like, terrible we can get around our bodies and ourselves. And I mean, we just don't have time for this, do we? Like, we don't have time to be like so hateful and negative towards our bodies and ourselves. I see so many women struggling with this, and it's just not worth it. We're on this planet for a very short time that we know of right now, and you know, we want to, I mean, I strive to just, you know, connect in a way that is going to be useful and helpful for me and for everyone around me as well. And when we're in that negative space, that's the kind of energy we're giving to everybody else. And you know, we don't want that. We don't want that. So my first key to kind of move out of that, you know, judgment around our bodies and ourselves is to practice positivity and gratitude every single day. To when you are getting into that negative space, to shift and reverse that. I mean, you can notice, okay, I'm in that shitty space right now. But, you know, if you're looking in the mirror and all you're doing is finding something that you hate about your body, how can you shift that? Can you, in that moment, notice, okay, I'm saying something negative about my body. This is not helpful for me or anyone around me. I'm going to look at something that I actually love about my body. So one of my techniques that I really work with some of my clients on is to find find something or three things immediately that you can actually say that you love about your body. And it can be as simple as like my feet, because they've gotten me all over this planet and have danced me around the world. Or my ears, because I can hear really well with them. And I mean just or it can be like, oh wow, I actually love this like décolletage area of my chest. I don't have big boobs. I always wanted bigger boobs, but at least I can wear this little green dress without a bra on. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of stuff, just reversing it. And then the gratitude piece is to really, I love telling people, I'm sure other people have mentioned this, or a lot of you already know this, but just as a reminder to like possibly keep a gratitude journal in the beginning and end of a day. Or if you're in meditation, like a lot of times I'll meditate in the morning and at night, and before or after I meditate, I will, send a little prayer of gratitude, thank you so much for me being here today, for all the lessons I've learned, for all the people in my life that are here to support me, all of that kind of stuff. And I think that can get us out of our heads around our, body image.
Yes.
The second key I have is to actually really connect with your talents and gifts. So writing, and then I'll let you guys know how to go deeper with this too a little later, but what are your strengths? What are your unique talents, gifts, life experiences that has made you who you are? You are not like anybody else on this planet. Why would you want to be?
Right.
And in terms of bodies, who said that being a stick figure thin body was the right way to go? You know what I mean? And back in the day, man, 150 or so years ago, I mean, those ladies were voluptuous, and they were like nice and white and creamy like me. So I would have been posing for all those people. But, I mean, it's like, who says what is good or bad about a body? I mean, it's more about how you feel in your body. So it's really like connecting to our strengths, our talents, our gifts, what we love about ourselves that isn't body related. Mm-hmm. Those kind of things, I think, can also help us to get out of our bodies and, out of our minds and into our bodies. And then lastly, again, it is to movement, like mindful movement, like finding things that we actually enjoy and love doing, instead of pushing ourselves to go to a gym and work out 3 times a day because, and if you're one of these people that do find yourself in the space of like working out constantly because you want to you keep your weight at a certain size or whatever it is, what is the deeper underlying stuff that's going on under there? Who are you without those workouts? These are the questions you want to ask yourself. Who am I without all of that negative mind chatter? Who do I get to be in the world when I don't get caught up in my head like that? And who's positively influenced when I am out of that negative space? So those are some basic questions you could ask yourself if you're getting into that place of like finding yourself, profusely working out or beating yourself up for eating, a cupcake or whatever it is. But really finding movement That third key is finding movement that you love and that you enjoy, and not pressuring yourself to go work out in a gym if that's not where you want to go work out. If you like that environment, awesome, rad, do that. But for me, I don't enjoy it. I'd rather be going on a hike in nature, doing a yoga class, or taking, a dance class, or something like that. So really find what it is that you love doing and start doing that. Maybe you want to swim. Maybe you want to go rock climbing. Yeah, you maybe you want to push yourself to do that thing that you have been scared of doing because you're, nervous that you don't look the right part or something like that. And do it. This is our one life, and we've got to seize the day.
That's great strategies and tips, and I love that you included in the end the movement part. So I feel like we're not our bodies, and we aren't, and our sense of worth is not defined by our bodies. And for us to get clarity on what our unique body wants to be, how we feel good, and this recognition that for us to really be our best, we need our bodies healthy, and they like to move. They don't necessarily want to go run on the treadmill at the gym, but and like you said, sometimes they do, but there's some kind of movement that will support your body in being its healthiest too. So it's that, like, what's right for you, and what does your body want to be its ideal state.
Exactly. Totally.
Yeah. Yay, I love that. And finding and focusing on your strengths too. That's really powerful. I don't think too many of us do that on a regular basis. So it feels to me like we just are in this habit of finding what's wrong about ourselves a lot of the time instead of what's right.
Yeah, and it's okay to push ourselves to try new things and just kind of figure out what. We can test the waters in different areas. We don't have to only do what we're good at. It's not about that. It's just that, we do what brings you joy. Do what, kind of makes you who you are, and really focus on, doing more of those things every day.
Yeah, that's what lights us up, right?
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic conversation, Ashley. Just so enjoyed getting to hang out with you and have this conversation that we both love. How did we get so lucky to get to do this, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm definitely very grateful every day to be doing this work.
Yeah, and I know that you've extended your generosity to all the listeners, and that you have offered a couple of free gifts that they can check out. They can get to know your work better and your wisdom, and support themselves even more. And those links are right below this video, so everybody can go down there and click on those. I'm going to let Ashley share with you what it is that she's giving you.
Yeah. So the first one is the Embody Your Business and Rock Your Brand strategy session, and this is just a time for you and I to sit down together at the phone and help you to get true clarity around what it is that you want. If you are an entrepreneur, what you want your kind of life and business and body and all of that to look like moving forward, and to help you to really build that fierce confidence for you to move forward with your life's work with grace and clarity. So that is, you can sign up to, and P.S., if you're not an entrepreneur, I'm more than happy to work with you. I also have a couple different options for programming that aren't entrepreneurial based. One right now is Body Compassion Bootcamp that I have currently going on. It's a group course that I am turning into a home study next year that anyone can get at any time, so that'll be really cool too. But you can sign up for that session at strongbodylove.com/free-session. And then the other one is the Embody Your Business and Rock Your Brand free video training series. And that training series really dives in more into what I was talking about earlier with like discovering your unique gifts and talents and really utilizing those and moving those into the work that you're doing and creating your personal brand in your life and in your work, and really learning how to build that confidence to put yourself out there on various platforms. And so you can check that out at strongbodylove.com/free-training and sign up. And there's 3 videos that you're going to get that are highly informative, and I believe also has an invitation to come and chat with me afterwards if that calls to you as well.
Those both sound fantastic. Thank you so much for your generosity, for offering this to everyone, and for being you, and for showing up and just shining your light and sharing your wisdom in this way, and being the invitation to stand in that fierce confidence. It's very inspiring, and it's just been so much fun to have this conversation with you and to share you with everybody. So thank you, Ashley.
Darlene, thank you so much. I've had so much fun. This has been just a really enlivening and beautiful conversation, and thank you, everyone, for being here and listening to this interview, and I hope that I have the chance to speak with you in person, or not in person, well, in person eventually. That would be awesome. Yeah. I'm in San Francisco, and I work with people from all over the world, and people come here too to do some amazing programming and workshops with me as well, and I would love to have you here. But to start out, would love to just have that conversation with you as well. So I just love getting to know new people, and never feel like I want everyone to be supported in the correct way for them. So I just love, and I love connecting people too. So that's another thing that I just love doing. But yeah, Darlene, thank you so much for having me here today. I appreciate it, and I hope you have just a beautiful, beautiful summit here.
Thank you. It's a dream come true. And I thank all the listeners so much for taking the time today for just expanding your world and what's possible as you open yourself up to empower your body and follow your heart, own your power, and shine in the world. And there's more tools and tips, more videos to come, so stay tuned. And until then, bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.